Hello, everybody. I hope I am visible and audible to everybody present here.
Yes, Shifa, you're audible.
Okay. So, the courtroom is not just a place of arguments, it is a place of learning, courage, and evolution. And every great litigator once stood here where you stand today, at the beginning of a journey. A very warm and pleasant evening to everybody present here. I am Shifa Sheikh, and I am delighted to welcome you all to this special webinar organized by Law Jurist on the theme How to Start Your Litigation Journey, Practical Steps, Mindset, and Early Strategy. Before we move forward, it is my privilege to briefly introduce the organization behind today's event. Law Jurist is a fast growing legal platform, educational platform dedicated to empowering law students, aspirants, and young professionals throughout the legal journey, awareness, mentorship, and skill based learning. We firmly believe that legal education should not be confined to textbooks only. It must extend to real world practicals, practice, courtroom exposure, and continuous professional development. Through webinars, workshops, mentorship programs, and legal publications, Law Jurist strives to bridge the gap between academic learning and practical legal experience. It is now my honor to acknowledge the visionary behind the Law Jurist, that is Mr. Ayush Gaurav, the founder of Law Jurist. His unwavering commitment to creating a supportive and resource-rich community for building legal professionals has made today's program as possible. He will be joining now and shortly sharing few words with us during the course of this session.
Thank you, Shifa. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, okay. Greetings of the day, everyone. First of all, thank you so much for joining today's webinar. Talking about Law Jurist. Law Jurist is a legal tech platform, and it's a registered ISO certified organization. Our aim is to bridge the gap between the law student and legal profession. And to fulfill our aim and objective, we are once again back with this wonderful webinar. I would also be thanking today's guest speaker, Ms. Nivedita Nirvikar ma'am, for taking out time from her busy schedule and coming up with this wonderful session to how to start litigation. I hope this session will be very fruitful for all of you, and you guys have a lot of takeaway from this session. Thank you so much, and please maintain the decorum throughout the session. And also, please do not forget to fill the feedback form.
Okay. So moving forward, this session has been specially curated for law students, judicial aspirants, and young lawyers who are preparing to step into litigation and build a confident, strategic, and goal-oriented career in the courtroom. Today, we are extremely honored to have with us a distinguished personality whose presence makes this event truly and more meaningful, Senior Advocate Ms. Nivedita Nirvikar, Patna High Court. With over 3 decades of experience in legal practice, ma'am has handled a wide range of matters including arbitration, court and criminal litigation, taxation, service matters, and company law disputes. She has represented several esteemed public institutions such as Accountant General's Department, Power Holding Company Limited, the Government of India, and the Central Bureau of Investigation. Adding to her remarkable journey, she holds the prestigious distinction of being the only designated as a senior advocate at the Patna High Court, a true symbol of excellence, perseverance, and leadership in the legal profession. Her valuable contributions also extend to Lok Adalats and judicial training initiatives, making her guidance immensely beneficial for anyone aspiring to build a career in litigation. We kindly request all participants to note down key insights during the session and feel free to share your questions in the chat box. A dedicated Q&A session will be conducted towards the end or in between the webinar as per the ma'am's discretion. Also, guys, kindly take a moment to fill the feedback form provided in the chat. This will help us improve future sessions, and also it is required for successful issuance of your certificate. Now, without taking much of your time, it is my absolute privilege to invite our esteemed speaker, Senior Advocate Ms. Nivedita Nirvikar, ma'am, to enlighten us on building a strong, confident, and strategic litigation career from day one. Have a wonderful and enriching session ahead. Thank you. Ma'am, with the utmost respect, the screen is now yours.
Well, good evening, all of you, especially Shifa Sheikh and Abhishek over here. Thank you so much for inviting me. And it is always a pleasure to share your experiences with the young budding lawyers, the jurists, whom you may have to address at one point of time as honorable. So all these things are there. So thank you very much. Now, what am I supposed to speak? Actually, to address the children, right? So lots of children have, I think they are already there with us. What I can find is lots of children have, in fact, joined us. So, guys, I would like to tell you that I joined the profession in the year 1995. I'm a senior designated counsel in Patna High Court, and then, in fact, when I started my career, I had actually no choice which could have brought me to this profession. So that was my compulsion, because I wanted to start a profession or to be attached to a profession which was actually which could have made me stay in Patna. So it was something like that, and I had a choice no other than the law. I still remember that in those days, for joining law, you were required to have lots of points for getting admission in the law college. I was only a BA pass course student who had actually couldn't have gone through the admission in the law college, could not have got admission. So I remember I went to the principal and I asked him, I said, I would like to get admission. And he said that, look, I cannot get you admission because you will not be scoring high marks because of, in those days, you were getting points when you are in MA, doing your master's or you're doing your PhD. So you were getting points because of that. Now I requested him to an utmost request was there, and the principal could oblige me for getting me admission in the law college. After finishing my law college, I joined Patna High Court in 1995, soon after I finished my law. There also I was thoroughly blank because I was a first generation lawyer who had absolutely no idea about that what is there, the requirements, what am I supposed to do. But as I would be suggesting you, eventually a mentor is a requirement. So somehow the God was kind and I could get one mentor. Now he was really kind enough and so enthusiastic after meeting me, and he did everything actually. He taught me how to dress, he taught me how to read, he taught me how to argue. So it was on the very first day when I joined the bar, I argued a matter before one of the honorable judge. So this does not happen actually always, but I got that opportunity because of my senior, and I argued it. I was successful also. It was a bail application. Bail applications are generally treated to be the simplest form of advocacy. So that was the simplest form which I was made to argue, and I did that. Thereafter, everything started. I am saying just a few lines about me so that you can have a background of mine. And thereafter, yes, there was no looking back. God was kind, and my mentor, and I also received a call from one of the most senior, most advocate who saw me arguing, and thereafter I joined his office, and it was like that. And eventually, after it was after a very long time, in fact, I was designated as a senior counsel in Patna High Court. It was almost after 28 to 30 years when the judges nominated you for this designation. This designation is done by all the judges in the full court. So now we have rules with respect to that as to how the senior designations will be done. The Honorable Apex Court has already framed the rules, and in fact, they have a judgment, and according to that, the rules are required to be framed by each High Court. So we have our own rules. Accordingly, taking note of that Honorable Supreme Court decision, we were made to go through certain processes, and accordingly, I was designated. I also had the opportunity of working with lots of departments, as Shifa has already said. So I was also a counsel for the state government for a very long time. The CBI, the Central Bureau of Investigation, was my last assignment as a government towards the government side, because I am not choosing anything from the government side anymore, as I have worked a lot towards the government side. So there were other departments. I was also appointed as a senior standing counsel for Customs and Central Excise. In fact, Central Excise Department also awarded me for giving 100% success. I was there for almost 12 years. So it was something like that. Now, after I speak about myself, I think it started like that, and now I am before you people. I am a designated senior advocate practicing. I would just say that all young budding lawyers have joined us into this session. I would just say that there are certain suggestions which I would like to make for all of you. The same would be something like, aajkal kya hai? The children today, they are, maybe because of the situation these days, they are up to lots of monetary gains out of the profession. I say that one has to wait. One has to hold oneself for getting that monetary benefits. Once you start working, if you work with dedication, I am more than sure that this second part of monetary benefits would follow to you. This is what I understand, and this is what I have understood by now. It was not that we were not requiring money at that point of time. And it is not that we are not requiring money today. It is not that it's only your situation in which you require money. Because why did I say this? Because when we had joined the profession, we never questioned our seniors that how much money will you be giving us as a monthly salary or anything like that. We never questioned. Rather, we never questioned that whatever we got. I still remember that I used to get 100 rupees a week. And I come from a background where 100 rupees was just a pocket money, maybe much less than that. So I used to go to the shop. I used to buy some sweets or something, chocolates for my children. I had two young kids at that point of time. One day my senior stopped me. He said that you should value for money. I know that you have rupees with you. You have money to spend, but you should value for money. And from that day, that was again a lesson to me. So what I say that all these children who all of them are hearing me right now, I would suggest you that you please concentrate on your work for the present. Just forget the amount. Just forget the money. Once you are working efficiently, the money would follow. Your requirements will be fulfilled. There is no looking back once you start working. Now start working there. For starting your work, there is another aspect that for initial 5 years, one is required to just work and work. Just don't bother for anything else. And working also does not mean that you just forget your family, you just forget your friends, you just forget your hobby. No, it's not like that. It is not like that. But your concentration should be for studies. This is what I say. That you are required to concentrate on your studies. The first day of any student, I would suggest that he or she should be with your criminal major act, which we had. Now you would be having BNS and the other things. There also you'll be getting a major act. I have not seen whether these all three have been compiled together or not today. But at our point of time, the CRPC, evidence and IPC, all three used to be combined in a small notebook type ka book. So I would suggest all of you to have such kind of notebook with you. Even though when you join a profession, you may not have lots of work at the initial stage. Go and sit in the courtrooms in which you find yourself to be comfortable. You understand what is going on. So I say that go and sit into any courtrooms. We remember nowadays you are having it online. You get these things nowadays. This the online, the cases which are listed for tomorrow. We used to have cause list. Now the cause lists are online. So those online cause lists, in our days, we were supposed to, our senior told us that, look, you take this cause list and go and watch in the courtroom, how the courtroom proceedings are going on. So you're also supposed to do the same. That would give you lots of effects. I think I'm not taking much time. So you would let me know when to stop, isn't it?
Sure, ma'am. Yes.
So, yeah. So it is like that. You go sit. You go to the chamber of your senior. Once you are there in the courtroom, you would be able to understand that how the court proceedings are going on. Once you are in the chamber of your senior, you just pick up any of his file or any of the file with the request of your senior. Go through the file which he is going to argue tomorrow. You will be in a position to understand that what argument had taken place, how your senior was persuasive about a matter, what kind of queries were coming up from the judges. So these are the small things which you are required to take care of at the initial stage. That apart, a criminal major act, there are certain decisions also I would suggest, like Indra Sani's case, and there are other so many cases, Keshwanand Bharti case. Then we had these days lots of cases like that. Have a list. Once you are there in the Google, you would be getting all the important case laws. Vishakha's case, all these cases are very important, especially for any young children. The Vishakha cases also has become so important these days. So all these cases have to be noted by you. You please go through all those cases and get ready into those cases, because those are the cases, Menaka Gandhi case, these cases are into different field, which I am talking about. So far as reservation is concerned, the Article 21, all these cases would give you Article 12, all these cases would give you lots of background of your field, which would take you to the extent that yes, what has come up, how these things come up, how the laws have changed, how the laws have been amended, so how the changes took place. So all these would you will be in a position to understand once you are going through all these cases. You initially we had only PLJR, then we had Supreme Court cases. Now you have so many online journals. I again suggest that a student, a lawyer is bound to go through the journals. Never make a mistake while not reading the journals. Like you read a newspaper as it is must. We say that even journals are must. You will have to go through those journals, because without those journals, you cannot build up yourself to be a perfect lawyer. When we are talking about IPC, CRPC, BNNS Act now and the other acts actually, but all those acts, you go through those acts, then you also go through certain decisions. You go through the Constitution. Constitution is again very important, the fundamental rights and the other aspects. So chapter 3, these things are very important. So that I'm sure your senior would be guiding you people. But these things are the basics which any lawyer is required to understand. A lawyer is required to learn. A lawyer is required while one is drafting a petition. I find these days the children are too much in hurry so far as drafting is concerned. I say we should take some time. The children are also in hurry that they would mend themselves to be a topmost lawyer within 1 year of their practice. No, it's not like that. The profession demands time. The profession demands space. The profession demands continuous work, research, and so many other things. So it cannot be done. It cannot be built in 1 day. You have to be in continuous research work, continuous studies. So another 5 years is must. Please, all of you, make yourself clear for this profession that you are not supposed to think that what have I earned, and if I have not earned, that means I'm not going to prove myself. Initial days you are into difficulty, although these are days the Bar Council of India has lots of provisions for the young children. They are paying also 5,000 I believe per children. So these things have come up looking into the totality and the circumstances and the difficulty what the children are facing these days. But then I will suggest you that please don't all of you look for money. Start your studies, work hard, research well, go through the sections, provisions, assist your senior properly, and I'm sure tomorrow you are going to make a very good counsel thereafter. Anything else, Abhishek? I'm required to speak to them.
Ma'am, we have a lot of questions for you. I think Shifa can read the questions for you. You can answer this question.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was.
If I've left anything, I can. There's lots of. Actually, I should have said there are lots of now. Initially, it was only litigation. I'll just add 2 lines. Children may have a choice not only for the litigations, but you have so many other things now you can do. You have so many other subjects. Like you can also go for the companies. There are so many law firms. There are so many companies, lots of governments. All the governments, in fact, they are having. They are having some vacancy for the lawyers. So there are so many aspects now you can deal with all these situations as per your choice, whether you would like to come to the litigations. And this is the reason that lots of children are opting the instead of litigation, because in the litigation they are not getting abundant money. So children who are getting 1 lakh, 1.5 lakh, 2 lakh rupiah with the companies or with the law firms, they are all good children, or many of the good children rather I should say, many children, they are opting for law firms and the other places. But I'll say litigation is a very beautiful part also. So if you have a choice, you can opt for litigation. This will pay you in a long run. Okay, Shifa, now I'm getting back to you.
Yes, ma'am. Many of the participants have many questions. Arpit Pandey has this question that with resilience on digital legal tools and AI platforms, how should the young litigators balance the traditional case law reading with technology-assisted research?
In fact, even we have started doing the technology, we have started using that. Like right now when I am before you, we are using the technology. So this change has come. Now, instead of going through the library, which you can find me behind myself, these days, even we have started the learning from the technology. And I don't think there is any difficulty. We have online so many other things, like we have the SSC, we have online SSC, we have Manupatra, which is online. And there are so many other platforms through which, even not that, we can just indiaqanun.com, all these are online. So we can go through all these online cases, and there is no requirement for going into the traditional form of the case laws which we had.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And Pushkar Kaushik, who is in the first year of his law school, he's asking that how should one do one thing on daily basis to achieve some skills, litigation skills, one thing a day.
No, this is not possible, Pushkar. It's a continuous learning process, and one is required to learn all throughout. There is no shortcuts. There is no formula whereby you learn one thing every day. You may learn today something, you may not learn tomorrow's anything. So it's a continuous process. At the outset, I have told all of you that for 5 years, just forget, just read, just go to the courtroom, just watch, just work with your senior. So you are going to learn something or the other, but this cannot be assured that every day you come to learn something or the other.
Thank you, ma'am. Halima Akhtar from Bangladesh is asking for the first generation lawyer. She's a third year LLB student. How can a person choose their mentor to start the career?
I'm also a first generation lawyer, as I told you initially. You will have to take the feedback. First of all, you should be very selective about one fact, that which part of the law you would like to practice. There are people who like criminal law. There are people who would like civil law. There are people who would like service matters. There are people who would like anything else. So accordingly, first you have to decide of your own that yes, I would like to work as a criminal lawyer, or I would like to work as a civil lawyer. So once you are working, and say you are in Bangladesh, as Shifa told me right now, you will have to find out that whether you would like to go to work for a civil court, or you are going to work in a high court or your Supreme Court. So accordingly, you will have to have a research that who is the best. If you have a choice for a criminal law, you will have to have a choice that civil court, high court or Supreme Court. If it is high court or Supreme Court or wherever you would like to practice, you will have to have a research so far as which lawyer is the best. And secondly, which lawyer is going to keep you with him or her. So you'll have to select, you will have to request, and accordingly thereafter, you can join the person.
Okay, ma'am. Archie Samaya here is asking for one success story in monetary terms and how your experience was.
Excuse me, once again.
Archie Samaya here is asking your success story in monetary terms and how your experience was.
My experience was actually excellent. As I told you that within 2-3 years of my practice, I was a counsel for railways. I was a counsel for Union of India. These days you have a bracket of 3 years. At that point of time, we had no bracket. So it was only 2.5 or something like that when I joined the profession. And I was appointed counsel for both the departments. Then it was my good luck, or God was kind enough, I would say. I started getting my private briefs right after 6 months of my practice. And my senior was my mentor. He asked me to have my own chamber. So I had my own chamber just after 6 months of my practice. And I was a counsel for 2 departments. And thereafter, there was no looking back. So I think I have been, I'm monetary, I'm a satisfied person. I have worked for so many departments. And nowadays, when I'm not working for the department, I have my clients who have faith in me. And as I would say, once your clients have faith in you, once you work with all the dedication, the monetary part would follow.
Thank you, ma'am. Harshit Pandey here has a question that what are some mistakes young advocates commonly make while drafting or arguing, and how they can consciously avoid them during the initial year of their litigation journey?
As I said that for 5 years, please confine yourself with your senior. That would make you learn so much. These days, the children who joins the bar, they think that they are a senior advocate or they don't need a senior. In fact, once they start working, they start thinking that they don't require a senior. So it's not like that. Because once you are with your senior, you come to know so many other things. Because the variety of work which a senior has, you may not get at the initial stage. So what you are required is that you are required to actually look at your senior, how he is handling clients, how he is handling briefs, how he is handling the money which is paid to, by his clients, how he is arguing, how he is drafting. So I would suggest that never join a very senior office. Always join an office who is not a senior designated, but they have quite some experience. So join somebody who has some experience so that you may come to know lots of drafting part, so that your senior has some time to check your petitions also. You can show your petitions, because one who is a very senior counsel, it would be difficult for he or she to have so much of time for you. So always join a middle-aged, he or she senior of yours who has some brief and who can be careful about you also. That would give you lots of experiences. And I'm sure you won't be able to have any mistakes thereafter.
Thank you, ma'am. Joseph here has the question, how to master public speaking as a law student?
Public speaking, Joseph. In fact, we have our profession in which we need to have lots of platforms. Like you can go for different seminars, you can go with your senior to civil courts when he is going to argue, or you go with your senior to Supreme Court when he or she is arguing. That would give you lots of, then your colleagues, then once you start good work, I'm sure that people would come to know about you.
Thank you, ma'am. Fact Love here has a question. Is it better for new litigators to specialize early in only one area like criminal law, civil, or taxation, or start as a general practicer for the initial stage and then later narrow it down to a single practice only?
Look, what I would suggest, that when we joined the bar, there was nothing as such called specialization. It was the clients who would make you specialized lawyer, the kind of clients you are getting. Maybe when we joined the bar, it was not as if we join only taxation, or we join civil matters, or we join the criminal cases. So once you start getting clients, or say you got one criminal case and you have excelled into it, then the clients of the criminal cases would follow you, would chase you. You would get lots of other clients while doing a good work in any of the field. It was just an example. But nowadays, the question of specialization is going on. There are children who are specializing into particular, say, corporate law or AI. These things have new developments in law. So people are doing it, but still, I would suggest that one may specialize. One should specialize rather, looking into the demand of today. But at the same time, the background of law has to be from BNSS. So that is there. You will have to know the laws in entirety. It cannot be that since you have specialized only into income tax. So income tax is rather one field where one may say that I'm not required to know the other things. There are one or two fields which we may talk about. For example, is income tax. But there are other subjects which has overlapping effects. But now in the IT sector, yes, there are certain subjects which one can specialize. So one can specialize, but the background of the entire law is a must. This is what I would suggest.
Thank you, ma'am. Andita Das has this question. Mostly the first year law students have issues in public speaking and they can't face a large amount of public and have a little bit of confidence problem. So how to overcome that problems and essential qualities of a lawyer that a lawyer must possess?
I believe that one should be very well read in his or her brief. I say that when we go through your brief is the file I'm talking about. When we go through the file, if factually you are 100% sure about the facts of a case, you will be very confident. Like when you know your subject, you will be confident. The confidence lacks only when you are not confident about what you are speaking. So when you are arguing a matter, or when you are into any public relation, or when you are talking on any subject, you are scared or you are nervous only when you are not sure about what you are talking. So please go through the file, please go through the brief. Once you will believe in yourself, I think nothing matters thereafter.
Thank you, ma'am. A participant from Nigeria have a question: how to draft a very compelling brief?
This is very difficult to explain, but what I can say that we should write only what the facts are there and the law concerning those facts. These are the only two things which is required to be mentioned in your brief. While you are drafting a matter, you are required to first draft the facts of the case, and thereafter, what is the law emerging out of those facts? And I think that would suffice the entire issue. You may be knowing very good English, but you are not required to write English. You are required to write the law. You are required to write the facts of the case. That's all.
Thank you, ma'am. Sarbojit Bosu has a question. What areas of law that law students should focus on if he or she wants to build his or her career in the field of criminal litigation?
Criminal law, that's all. The criminal part, you go through criminal law, you practice for criminal law, and I think that is sufficient. If somebody is interested into a criminal law, you would be getting lots of bail matters, you would be getting lots of appeals after conviction. Those are very important. And we all know there had been lots of very good criminal lawyers in Supreme Court, in Honorable Patna High Court. We have seen lots of good criminal lawyers.
Thank you, ma'am. Gitanjali Dikshit has a question. What are the essential point to check before drafting a written statement?
What is written statement? Written statement is what you argue. That has to be given to the judge in the form of written statement, which at times is done. So, whatever are your essential points, that has to be mentioned on the written statement. Your point of argument, your facts is already there in the brief, so you're not required to mention. What you are required to mention is the law points. So that is there. All the law points which is required to be there, the argument, you are required to mention it in the written statement.
Thank you, ma'am. Divyanshi here has a question that how the client comes to a lawyer and how the lawyer or the advocate should interact smoothly with the client to gain their trust and to make the better communication, to bridge the gap.
How a client will come is a difficult part to say, because there is no fixed formula for a client. And therefore, but when you are looking for a client, which is a must, because you must have a client, I believe that once you start working professionally, slowly people would come to know that you are a good counsel. At times some references are made through your family, some references are made through your neighbors, some references are made through your colleagues, some references are made through some civil court lawyers, some references are made through aajkal to there are so many websites on which you post yourself to be a lawyer. So all these things are there when people come to know about you, and it's just a click. Once you click to one of the orders which is in your favor, people come to know, oh, it is such and such person who had done this matter. So the second person will follow you, third person will follow you. So it is like that you will be having your clients.
Thank you, ma'am. Shivani Sharma here has a question that how shall a person approach a senior advocate of any court, high court or supreme court for interns, for internship, who hires the interns?
Look, there is again no fixed formula for that. How will you approach? But these days you have email IDs, you are attached to the LinkedIn, and there are so many other social sites whereby you can request the senior whom you would like to join. In our days, there were no LinkedIn facilities. There were no Facebook where I could have approached. There were no WhatsApp where I could have approached. So I will share you my issues. Like I come to know about one of the person that he is a very good lawyer. I try to find out his address. I went to his house, and thereafter he asked me that which field would you like to join? I said I would like to become a criminal lawyer, because those were the days when we used to see movies in which the APPs used to be such a big shot. As I had no absolutely any idea about anything in this profession. Then he said, but I am a civil lawyer. I cannot help you. But then again, he suggested me another name. He gave me his phone number. He gave me his address. I went to his house. I requested him. And he was the person who disheartened me, discouraged me to an extreme. As he said, this profession is not meant for females. So you don't join the profession. But then I was very sure about what I have to do. He allowed me join his office, his chamber. And so I'm here. So these days, there are lots of social media through which you can get connected. But at that point of time, this is how we went and joined the office of the senior.
Thank you, ma'am. Sam here is having a question. How shall a second-year student start drafting as a home practice, basic drafting?
I believe for that, you should join somebody whom you know, or if you know somebody as a counsel, you should go to him and ask for some old files. Ask for some old files and start drafting. I think this is how you learn about it.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Another participant here is asking, many law students in their initial years have an understanding issue with reading BARE Act. So how do you face it, and how do you really understand and master reading a BARE Act?
I told you that never join a very senior office. This I have already said. Because the seniors are seasoned old lawyers who does not have much time. Therefore, always select a senior, a mentor of yours, who are in the middle age, who has the energy of teaching you, who has the energy of looking into your drafting. So that way it would be better to join an office as such. In case if you have any difficulty, you can go to your senior, sir, I'm not understanding this. I'll share a story with you now that when you have said this. There was a civil issue and I went to one of the civil council. That council was actually making me understand those provisions. In those days, there was a very renowned senior counsel, Mr. Srinath Singh, a very well-known figure. He was under the impression that I have come for a walk to this Honorable High Court, and he very nicely said that, look, why are you torturing this girl? She had just come to move around in the High Court. Why are you making her understand this provision for so long? But I felt very bad at that point of time. But subsequently, that man started, Mr. Singh started liking me very much. Because in the due course of time, he could make out that I am a serious practitioner. So this is how, once you are serious, there are lots of colleagues of yours also who would come forward to suggest you, to help you out. And this is how we all of us learn.
Thank you, ma'am. Also, I myself personally have this question. Are moot courts really important for law students if they are thinking of litigation journey?
Yes, one should always join because that gives you lots of background at how things is argued. So that gives you, in fact, exposure. The exposure is very nice because once you come to this High Court and start arguing, so those exposures are very important. So I would suggest that yes, one must. All children who can join moot courts, who are given the privilege of joining moot courts, must do that.
Thank you, ma'am. Another participant is asking question that in litigation, which field should we master?
This is thoroughly your choice. Where are you interested? That is most important. And whether you would like to be a constitutional lawyer, whether you would like to be a criminal lawyer, whether you would like to be a service, doing lots of service matters, civil, criminal. So this is your corporate laws. So it is thoroughly your choice. What interest do you have? That depends upon that.
Thank you, ma'am. Another participant is asking, I'm a final year student. My question is that many times we come across cases with almost no merit in them. Cases which have already come to a dead end, or cases which we know are not going to go in our favor. What should be the approach, our approach while arguing or appearing in such matters?
This is the challenge which a lawyer faces. You know that this matter may be rejected, but still you work hard and you make out a case. That is called advocacy. Simple cases can be done by anyone.
That was actually very inspiring, ma'am. Okay, another participant is asking, should we start off our career with lower judiciary like district courts, or directly start from the High Court or at Supreme Court maybe?
Look, again, this is your choice. Lots of children these days are going for judiciary exams also. There are lots of children who would be comfortable as per their own requirements to the civil court. There are people who would like to join High Court. There are people who would like to go for Supreme Court. So this is thoroughly your personal choice. But so far as civil court is concerned, what I would say that when we join the High Court or the Supreme Court, we do not know lots of the basic practices which are there. So once you are in a civil court, you come to know lots of basic things which the processes how cases are built up. So if somebody is interested in going to the root of the case, one must join for even for a few months.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Final year student, BA LLB course, is asking speech impediment. I have a speech impediment, but I want to become a litigation lawyer, especially in criminal law. Should I continue?
I think that does not makes much difference. That is, one fact is correct, that if you are very good in speaking, that is actually correct. But then again, I won't say that there is any difficulty if one is having some such kind of difficulty. One has to show the provisions. One has to be slightly expressive. So there is some difficulty, but then again, there are lots of people who has this difficulty, but still they have excelled in the profession.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. Also, what generally do the student need to do or build as a student of law, or how does a student need to choose specialization in law?
This is again in a very personal. I cannot say that how will you select a specialization, because if you are interested in criminal cases, you will choose criminal cases. If you choose civil cases, you are interested into that. So this is very subjective. This is your thoroughly your interest which would lead you to specialization.
And
And the
ma'am,
clients as well. And the clients as well.
yeah, and ma'am, if a person is if a student, a last year student or in a middle year student is thinking about which field is more practically correct to choose, doesn't have that much interest, will that be like ethical?
Sorry?
If a field is more practical to choose, if a field has more potential to gain more income, then a field that a person is actually interested to choose, which would be ethical to choose actually.
Sorry, I'm not getting the question.
See, if a final year student is stuck between choosing a field that is logically more practical to choose, and he or she have interest in any other field, any other field, but due to peer pressure or family pressure, he is choosing, and logically also that field has potential to gain him more income. Which field should the person choose?
Ma'am, I would like to rephrase this question for you. So basically, what Shifa meant
No,
is
no,
that
I have understood now. I have
yeah,
understood
yeah.
now. But isn't it very difficult to reply such questions? Because this does not somehow concerns the law. This is your personal issue, and this personal issue has to be solved with your parents. Because and nowadays we are giving liberty to our children that they choose or they select things of their own. Why parents generally would suggest you go for MBA and go for a job? Okay, why is it? Because in MBA, the day you start, you are getting 1.5 lakh rupiah. All right, but when you are joining law, you are not getting 1.5 rupiah, isn't it? So that field is easier. That field you have the income. This field does not have income, but this field has a prospect. This field may lead you to any heights, but for that you'll have to wait. You have to be patient. You cannot start. But yes, these are days also you have corporate laws. There are lots of state government who are employing the lawyers. There are lots of companies who are appointing lawyers. There are law firms who are appointing lawyers. So there the selection has to be done by you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Also, a participant is asking that when shall a student should go in the court hearings, before studying the penal laws or after studying the penal laws?
You can do it at any point of time, whether you have studied or not. Will not. I don't think so. That makes any difference, because what I would say. You carry your notebook with you, isn't it? You carry your notebook with you, and this is how you can compare what is going on, what you have studied. And I believe that any student who is even a first year or second year student, he has the background of law, isn't it? He starts with something, and then it's a learning process. There is no fixed formula. But if you have read anything in advance, it is always going to help you understand things easily.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And that was the last question of that, and it was very inspiring, and I learned a lot of things from you, ma'am. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence today, and I would also like to extend my sincere gratitude to Mr. Ayush Gaurav and the entire Law Jurist team for organizing this insightful session. And finally, the heartfelt thank you to each and every participant for joining us today and making this webinar a success. We hope you leave with clarity, confidence, and renewed motivation for your legal journey ahead, and I hope ma'am has cleared all your doubts and queries. Also, we request all the participants to kindly fill out the feedback form shared in the chat. We value your feedback as essential for us, and it is also mandatory for issuance of your participation certificate. Thank you again so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Ayush. Thank you, Sifa. And thank you all the children who joined. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure interacting with all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Participants, you are requested to fill the feedback form.